The Democrats has struck again.
According to the New York Post, this pilot program will cost the city $53 million. The amount loaded on the card will depend on the family size.
Considered the greatest spitting. I tell them I'm Christ-like. They envision modern Christian. Tell them I'm nothing like check conditions of how I'm living. I preach Christ. We ain't fake delivering. Listen. Candyman, soon as they. It's not about how much Bible chapter and verse you know. It's about how much Bible you willing to obey.
New York City launches a $53 million prepaid credit card program for migrants who somehow migrated up to New York. I ain't gonna say somehow, they bust them up there.
According to the New York Post, this pilot program will cost the city $53 million. The amount loaded on the card will depend on the family size.
They don't have kitchens, so how are they going to purchase the food that they want?
And in my honest opinion, I think America is trying to strategize some type of civil war. I think they strategically trying to create a civil war, a divide, a coup d'etat, mainly because it doesn't make any sense what's going on up there in New York City with Eric Adams and the Democrats. It just don't make no sense. Eric Adams and his people is about to give all these migrants a bunch of money when black people has been fighting for reparations for God knows how long. Man, this stuff is getting out of hand, man. And these people, they can come here within a few weeks, can get $53 million and up to $3,000 a month in food vouchers and everyday necessities. But us black folk can't even get what's owed to us. You know what I mean? It just blows my mind, man. Hey, listen. I'm all for helping people. I'm all for helping the less fortunate. But y'all don't find it kind of suspicious that they are busing these migrants all the way up there, from Mexico, the Mexico-Texas border to New York City. Y'all don't find that suspicious? And now they giving them, all type of resources and money and making all these commitments to these people. It is election year, so y'all know they always get a little crazy around election year. You don't have to be a conspiracy theorist to consider whether this current situation up there in NYC is a political ploy. These Democrats ain't got nothing else going for them. Real rap. That's why they creating all these situations, that's going on up there in New York, man. That's why they creating them. It's costing us taxpayers a lot of money, Democrats. It's costing us more and more money every day. Heck, we already in this crazy inflation, and most Americans is barely, living paycheck to paycheck. They could barely pay their bills, and yet these people could come here and get pretty much what they want and ball out of control. It's crazy, man. Look, at this point, if you're black and you're still a Democrat, you out of your mind. You are out of your mind. Listen, they gave black people Juneteenth. They gave black people another George Floyd statue. They done gave black people another Martin Luther King statue and still ain't cut black people a check. Our ancestors literally laid down their life and labored to build this country that everybody gets to enjoy, and we can't even get a check. But these folk can come here and get a check and get housing and just do what they do. These Democrats is fighting hard for everybody else except us black folk. They ain't fighting for us black folk. They ain't fighting for us, our reparations, which y'all know we are owed reparations. They fighting for everybody's nonsense, everybody else's mess, except for us foundationally black Americans. And y'all want to know something else? They trying to slip through the cracks. They just cut $183 million checks to the great-grandchildren and beneficiaries of the Holocaust survivors. You know what? Let this sister explain it.
I'm gonna try to do this in 2 minutes and 20 seconds so I don't have to do two parts. Somehow, the governor of New York found $183 million to give to the victims and beneficiaries of Holocaust victims. This is your reminder that the Holocaust did not occur on American soil. However, they found $183 million to give to the victims and the beneficiaries. Walk with me through history for a moment. On Juneteenth of 2019, the House Judiciary Committee held a hearing on slavery and reparations. See that man right there? That is Mike Johnson from Louisiana. He was a House Congress representative. Do you know he is now the seated Speaker of the House who holds the power of the purse in this country? This man fought tooth and nail against the case for reparations in 2019. It is on video. The hearing is 3 hours and 19 minutes long. Watch it, because he and people like Candace Owens were fighting tooth and nail to say that Black people do not deserve reparations because it is unconstitutional, even citing his adopted Black son as a reason for it. Now back to the governor and what they did in New York. They, meaning the Department of Financial Services Holocaust Claims Processing Office, they have a whole office for Holocaust claims. They assist Holocaust victims with their heirs recover stolen assets, and they have helped secure and return over $183 million in compensations to victims and their heirs for bank, insurance, and other material losses. Additionally, through the initiative, the Department of Financial Services has facilitated settlements involving over 250 cultural objects since its inception in 1997. They have been doing this since 1997. Again, the Holocaust did not occur here. However, since 1997, they have put this initiative together and as a collective have found $183 million, which means they structurally put something together to ensure that they can be compensated for a loss that occurred in another country that did not occur in ours to get reparations. At what point will y'all stop playing in our faces? Because this is ridiculous.
I ain't knocking the Jews. I'm not gonna knock the Jews. They do what they do. They make sure their people are in place, to do what they gotta do to make things shake and move. And unfortunately, us Black folk, when we put Black people in place, when we put them in positions, they get greedy. And then they start catering, giving into the dominant society because they come in with their checks and their money and start buying out all our Black leaders. Real rap. That's the reason why I believe a lot of Black men are starting to lean more towards the Republicans and the conservatives. That's the reason why I believe that. Because it's like there is really no reason for Black men to support the Democratic Party because there is nothing in place for Black men, the everyday Black person. And the main reason why I believe some Black people is still supporting the Democratic Party is mainly because all this gender ideology mess and all the civil minority rainbow community stuff they got going on. Listen, there is no real reason for any everyday Black person to still be supporting the Democratic Party at this point. Real rap, really, what's the reason? Now, let me be clear. Again, my denial of the Democratic Party and the liberals is not my support for the Republican conservatives. Nah, I don't rock with neither one of them. They are all doing damaging things, just in different ways, in my honest opinion. They are both creating organized chaos so that they can usher in a one world government, a one world order, in my honest opinion. They are colluding together. They doing the same thing, just on different platforms and in subtle different ways, in my honest opinion. I don't rock with neither one of them. I stay out of them. I ain't voting. Y'all know I don't vote. I don't get down with that. A lot of stuff they doing just don't make no sense. The Democrats or the conservatives, the Republicans and the conservatives and the liberals. A lot of the moves that they're making, it just don't make no sense, And like I said, you don't have to be a conspiracy theorist, to see that they are all out of line. Don't make it. They not making no common sense on God's green earth. But we in election year. What you expect out of election year? You should, at this point, you should expect these people to start doing crazy stuff anyway. But in my honest opinion, it's a sad day in America when you get penalized for helping your own people in your own backyard, the homeless in our own backyard. It's crazy that, people that's helping the homeless in our own communities is facing jail time along with countless of fines and all the stuff for helping the homeless people in our own backyard. But these Democrats can magically come up with $53 million to help folk from another country. It don't make no sense. How in the world y'all can come up with all that money to help people from another country, but y'all don't have no money money for one, to pay reparations or help the homeless people, which a lot of them are vets who served in this country in our own backyard. Like, come on, America. Like I thought this was the land of the free, the home of the brave. I thought this was like the place where everybody wants. I mean, it's obvious that a lot of people still want to come here. We see all the migrants that migrated here. In my honest opinion, they was bought and paid for by the Democrats to come here for whatever reason. If I can speculate a little bit, y'all, my speculation is that a lot of black people ain't going to be voting. And they need some votes, and they bringing all these migrants up here, and they might end up using our names or dead people names, give them dead people names and dead people social security number, and they gonna go up and go vote and because I'm not a Donald Trump fan, but I think the Democrats know that Donald Trump probably got this in the wraps. I'm not a Donald Trump fan. I'm not voting for Trump. I definitely ain't voting for Biden them. But they bringing these migrants here for a reason. Why did Joe Biden, down there in Texas told them to open up them borders like that? And now you got them people down there, you got the citizens down there in Texas, patrolling their own border, which should be our National Guard, to patrolling the border. The Border Patrol. But Trump told them folk to remove them. Yo, it's getting crazy out here, man. But anyway, listen, these migrants, they come in here, they getting up to $3,000 of food stamps and necessities, and allowance depending on how big their family is. They getting housing, and in some states they even getting free health care. Heck, man, we don't even get free health care, and these folk can come here and get free health care. That's why I say you don't have to be a conspiracy theorist to see that, they doing something here, man. Y'all remember, real quick, when I covered a story on a pastor who was facing jail time, and a bunch of fines for helping the homeless here, in his city stay out the cold. And y'all remember that episode? If y'all didn't, I'm gonna link it right here. Y'all go check that episode out because, I want y'all to check that out. This pastor was helping homeless people, and he went and they trying to shut down his church, and they fining him millions of dollars. But the Democrat, I know I'm beating a dead horse with this, man, but this is just crazy, man. Again, before I go, y'all, I need y'all to know this. I'm all for helping the less fortunate. I'm all for helping the disenfranchised. I'm all for that. The scripture tells us to help the sojourner and be there for the less fortunate and help people. But here's the thing. It's a lot of people in our own backyard that need help. It's a lot of money that's owed to foundational Black Americans here, here in America. I think we should help people on our own soil before we try to go help somebody else. That's just in my honest opinion. I think that would show the true heart of America. Y'all showing compassion, which y'all should, to other countries and other people that's migrating here, and I get it. But at the end of the day, your own people are suffering. Y'all doing this at the cost of your own people for political ideologies and political gain. And that's where I'm getting at. But man, let me know what y'all think about this, man. Hop down in the comments. It's your boy Reese Johnson. This is the Gutta And Saved podcast. Yo, do something for the podcast today and go to our merch store and stick around for these last announcements.
Gasmerch.com. Vintage Saint Collection. Gutta And Saved Abstract Collection. Shop now at gasmerch.com.
Considered the greatest spitting. I tell them I'm Christ-like. They envision modern Christian. Tell them I'm nothing like. Check conditions of how I'm living. I preach Christ. We ain't fake delivering. Listen. Candyman, soon as they. It's not about how much Bible chapter and verse you know. It's about how much Bible you willing to obey.
what's up?